gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Okay, that's not the right intro. Let's try that again. That's good. Welcome to RumNRasslin, the day we bring to you the King of the Ring 94. The captain's already dipping into the rum supply. He's 3/4 of the way through the bottle.
I kind of like, let's keep going with that entrance. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, RumNRasslin proudly present to you King of the Ring 1994. We have the first mate. We have the Stowaway. We have the captain. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Drink up.
Yeah, you're going to need to for this one. It only gets worse with 95, so let's pretend like we're on the worst yet. Stowaway, just so you know, I hate you for the fact that before we started recording, you reminded us that 95 is next. I hate you.
You're welcome.
I hate you so hard right now.
Why is the rum always gone? Oh.
That's because you drank the whole bottle before we started.
I needed to. It was bad. This is terrible.
Okay. All right, King's Ring 94. This took place in Baltimore, Maryland. Estimated 12,000 in attendance. I feel sorry for those 12,000 that they paid to see this hot garbage. But I see it was a live show back in 94. There was nothing else to do, no internet, so I mean it was probably fine. But knowing what we know now, going back and watching this, yeah, makes me sad. Sad in the Stowaway's pants.
I like how that's the measuring stick here is, well, this was bad, but 1994 sucked just for society, so I guess it's okay.
It was fine. When you compare it to the mid-90s, it's the worst is still dumb, so, yeah. It's not 2000 WCW bad, but
this pay-per-view sucked, but at least you didn't get run over by a bus. That's the measuring stick we're going for.
You could have been the Blue Blazer, okay?
Yeah. Oh.
Is that a hint of things to come? No? Maybe?
Okay, so we're gonna roll right into this first. We're gonna get started here. Let's not forget the running gag for the entire day before we started recording was how much does that guy weigh? What do you think he weighs?
I have several juicy quotes from Art Donovan on this show.
Where's the other? I need another drink.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we take a dump on this dude for his performance on the show, before we do that, I will defend him and the WWF on this one briefly, because I've seen Art Donovan in interviews. I've seen his interviews with Paul McGuire from NBC. I don't know if you guys remember Paul McGuire at all. Used to do the NFL on NBC back in the day. And Art Donovan, when he knows what he's talking about, is genuinely entertaining. He is charismatic. He's just not in the right spot here.
It really feels...
Not a wrestling guy?
Yeah, it feels like he's not at all. Just by some of the questions he's asked, you're just like, have you ever watched this once, Art? Do you even know anything about this?
The answer to that was probably no.
Hard no. Yeah.
Probably. That's a hard pass on that one. So
we're starting off with the first matchup. It lasts a whopping 8 minutes and 24 seconds, and then got a 1 3/4 star.
I'm going to go ahead and say that's pretty accurate. I gave it a 2. It wasn't bad. It's just the ending was just bad. It's the mid-90s, early mid-90s, and it's no different than now. Let's go for that roll-up.
Yeah, I literally have 2 things in this match. Slow, but it was okay, and then it was terrible ending. That is the only talking points for this match. I was really hoping for something better, and just like everything in life, especially in wrestling, I was let down.
Jesus, that was depressing.
He's already had a full bottle of rum just before we started, so that should explain everything about this show.
So, really quick, before we keep going, the Stowaway does have the Meltzer, the reviews open too, so we'll get to that after every match. But, so you two can continue unless You ready to
Nope.
throw it over to me?
Oh no,
Yeah.
we're done. We gave all we had for this. I didn't take much because it was just kind of there. It wasn't the worst, but it definitely wasn't Mr. Hughes bad. But
I would
Okay.
say 8 minutes and 24 seconds and it was all slow. It was just slow. There was really no story there, and it ended. It
the
is
King of the Ring
done.
match.
That was it.
Okay, so do you two want to take a guess what the very first note I have on this match is?
How much you love Bam Bam's hair?
I got it. You noted the guy that the camera kept referencing that looked like Barney from the Flintstones, or was it Fred? No?
No, but I'm disappointed I did not do that. No, my first note was, how much does this guy weigh?
Oh.
He weighs a good 390.
So, yep, my only notes, top rope schoolboy finisher for Razor, and another nice art quote. I can't even stand to watch it. We're one match in, Art.
And you can't stand to watch it. Okay.
There's a
So,
lot from poor Art.
are we ready to Meltzer this?
And here, the captain already gave it. He kind of gave it away. The 1.75.
1 and what? Yeah.
1 3/4. Yep.
Yeah, that's.
I gave it a 2, but that's just because I hadn't drank anything yet. I should have drank some more.
I think a 2 is just out of respect for Scott Hall.
That's literally what it was.
I mean,
it is respect.
I'm probably gonna hop on that 2 boat too. So
We'll give it a deuce.
speaking of
And
deuce,
Yeah, we got IRS and Mabel in the next match. 5 minutes and 34 seconds. It was 4 minutes and 34 seconds too long.
okay, I just want to let me start this off real quick. I didn't take a damn note. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Okay, so it had a decent pace. It's just
Okay. Just dead to real. Not watching an IRS match in years and years and years, and just going off of his legacy based off of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, right? They talked it up. Oh, the kin of IRS man, right? And playing the old video games, IRS. Okay, watching his matches, not a smooth worker at all. I mean, like, yeah, I remembered. I thought I remembered him to be like a pretty good wrestler, and watching it, and I was not impressed whatsoever.
So first of all, let me reference the best part of this match right now. It's when Gorilla Monsoon called Mabel a beached whale on the map. That was the best part of this match.
I have another quote that I would argue is in contention for best line of this match, but you guys can keep going.
How much does he weigh?
No. Okay, well, I did write that down as one of my notes for this match because he did say that. But mine is from Art Donovan, obviously. Do you two guys enjoy doing this?
Like, what kind of is this, like an interview?
Yeah. So the ending on this was pretty shit. Mabel got knocked off the second turnbuckle. IRS held the bottom rope for what looked like one of the world's worst pins.
Terrible.
It was just awful.
I remember Mabel, actually, to my surprise, when he was on the defensive, he was selling.
Yeah.
I mean, he did. Most big guys don't sell real well, but he was selling, and it was a cringeworthy match. And for that, I'm going to finish this.
I gave it a 1, and that was out of respect for the fact that Mabel kicked the bucket. I was being generous with the 1. I'm pretty sure I would go lower than that, though, if I was even mildly convinced.
So I went into a little bit of depth here because I was kind of shocked at how bad the pre-match promos were on this. They looked like they were just terrified behind the camera before this match. And also, by the way, IRS has another abysmal promo later on in the show.
Yeah, he didn't have a good showing this
He did not. He had a really bad showing. But going back to the finish, I wrote Wiggly Ropes IRS pen.
Oh my god. Like the pokey fingers.
Wiggly Ropes and pokey fingers.
The wiggly rope. What is that? Oh.
So I gave this 1 star, and are we ready to Meltzer this one?
Oh yeah.
Meltzer gave it a 0.5 star.
Ooh.
He's probably right. We're probably way too high.
I'll go with his on that one.
All right.
I'm gonna sink down to that 0.5 star.
Easily. I concur, Doctor. So speaking of blowing the roof off, even though we're not talking about it, all 12,000 fans in the Royal Farms Arena went wild for Owen Hart versus Tatanka. I'll fight you over that.
Okay. Now, here's one thing I want to note. Owen Hart versus Tatanka, based on the rating I have for this whole show, I gave it my highest rating of the whole show.
I mean, yeah. And that's
the 3rd match in.
Yeah, it's I my notes on here, and there's a lot to be said about this match for many reasons, but I have the Rocket ... WTF ? Exclamation point ? Decent match. Another terrible ending.
So we got 8 minutes and 18 seconds, and this honestly probably should have been a longer match.
Absolutely.
Just because of the quality of the talent involved. When you look at the rest of the card, I mean, it was actually one of the longer matches. I think there was only 1, 2, 3 matches longer. But
Bam's was longer with Razor.
Yeah, like 6 seconds. So, just go off my notes real quick. So, Tatanka jumped Owen to start. And while this was going, of course, there was a backstage brawl between IRS and Razor. Because,
You had to have
let's see.
something.
Oh, there was this one missile dropkick that Owen gave that looked freaking superb. That thing was really good. Tatanka's Hulk up is just ridiculous. I just want to put that out there.
Why is it ridiculous?
Just looks ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong. The effect is there. It gets the crowd fired up. It gets a minute. It works. Just for me, he just looks ridiculous doing it. Pretty good pace. Like you said, crap finish.
I actually made a note. Tatanka's Hulk up, I didn't think was that bad, surprisingly. Like you said, it does get the job done, and yeah, it's an interesting looking Hulk up. He's doing like the rain dance across the in the circle. Like it just I like the look of it.
And I'm not gonna lie. Let's face it. Tatanka was a version of the Ultimate Warrior, and that's why people loved him. He was a beef of a guy. He was just muscle. But the other thing is he had a really good character and gimmick. And the Hulk up matched his character very well. It didn't have to be anything special, no body slams. As long as he was sticking to it, I think it would come off well. So what's astonishing to me is if you look at this match here, it's Owen Hart comes from a lineage of very good technical wrestlers against Tatanka, not a technical wrestler. I think we can all agree on that point. But somehow, like we've all said, they pulled off probably the best match of the night on something that I don't know how you guys feel. Do you think this match could have main evented a Raw?
Yeah. Oh, easily, yeah, especially in '94.
I mean, Damien Demento main evented the first ever Raw, so yes.
Yeah.
All right, so if we're ready to hop over to the Stowaways view on the match, this is actually
Never
the
ready for
second.
that, but we're going with it.
This is actually the second highest rated match on the show for me. So I'd say it's around a 3 stars. I would go a little bit higher. It's just at one point Owen put on a sleeper that took for freaking ever, like in my opinion. And like
Anything in the sleeper killed it for me.
yeah. Owen's sunset flip looked good, and do you guys want to take a guess on what my first note of this match was?
How much
It
you
was an
weigh?
Art Donovan quote.
It was this guy Tatanka. How much does he weigh? All right. So are we getting ready to Meltzer it?
Well, I first need to know what position he would play.
Outside linebacker, right?
Sure, Art was gonna tell us.
So
I gave it a 3. Captain,
yeah.
would you give it a 3?
Yeah.
I'd say a 3's fine.
This is probably one of the first times Meltzer was more kind to a match than us, because he gave it a 3 1/4.
Yeah.
I took away at least a quarter of a point for the ending, so.
Yep. Absolutely. It was a terrible ending.
I'm excited to talk about this next match if we're ready.
What? Why? Why?
Because it's Jeff Jarrett, and ain't he great?
Ain't I great? Oh man! And then you got the kid who's got the corny haircut and the corny outfit, and
So my first note is Jeff Jarrett's angry orange attire. I mean, it wasn't the worst match on the card for me. I mean, it was short, which thank God it was short. Otherwise, it would have been so much worse. It was 4 minutes and 39 seconds. I gave it a 2. I mean, it was decent-ish for being Jeff Jarrett and the 1-2-3 kid. I mean, the ending was yet again another small package, but at least it came out of a figure 4, so it actually looked pretty decent for the most part. So I didn't take away from it because it came out of the figure 4, so I kind of accepted that one given how short it was. But the post match to me actually made up for the length of the match and just the utter beatdown Jeff Jarrett delivered to the kid.
I don't know. I mean, that was back whenever the pile driver meant something, and now you can't even do a pile driver in wrestling in some states in the United States right now because they've outlawed that move. He had some weird. I like the beatdown aspect, but what the hell was he doing? Jumping off the second rope? Was it like a punch? What was he doing? It just looked awkward as shit. He just jumped off and like went.
That's basically what it was. He was going.
Like it was strange. It was almost like he didn't know if he wanted to do a headbutt, an elbow, or a fist to the face. So he did all of them and none of them at the same time.
It's the most ridiculous thing to do to beat down.
It was awkward. It was just awkward. It was just awkward.
Yep, I gave it a 2.
So this leads me to ask a singular question. Those who are following this series, there is one thing that's consistent so far. There has to be a controversy in the pay-per-view, and this is it. The beatdown of 1-2-3 Kid. Can you come over it, brother? I don't know, Gorilla.
How much does he weigh, Macho?
Gorilla
Captain's gonna sit on his drink.
This is our Donovan talks. This is Gorilla Monsoon. He's like, I'm not putting up with it. I'm out.
I'm a Hall of Famer. I don't have to put up with this crap. I mean, he wasn't a Hall of Famer at this point, but
can we also talk about, if we're given 2 stars, how terrible these promos were during this pay-per-view?
They were bad. They were bad. They were so bad.
Why were they so corny? And I don't know if you guys looked up the about pictures, but if you have the opportunity to look up, you've got Bret Hart versus Diesel, and if you look at Diesel's Intercontinental Championship photo, it looks like he's trying to scare children so he can get to their candy. It's the most awkward picture ever.
Yeah, it's about right for him. I mean, that's Kevin Nash trying to take your kid's candy.
This is his picture.
Mommy, I'm scared.
Right, it's just awkward. It's awkward.
It's like looking at the captain's video off picture.
Don't make me do it.
Don't do it. No.
Nailed
Okay.
it.
Okay, Stowaway, what do you got for this?
So my first note here, there's no Art Donovan quotes for this one.
Ooh.
But my first note is Jeff Jarrett wrestles like a territory heel.
Definitely.
I made a note about his diving punches. They do look pretty rough. I also made a note. 1-2-3 Kid had a dive and it just looked painful because he missed and he like landed on his hip and his back. Like it looked really painful. Small package, 1-2-3 Kid wins. Jeff Jarrett 3 pile drivers after the match, and Art Donovan being Art Donovan.
Yeah.
2 stars. I'd say that's fair. There's not really a lot to do. Like we said in the last King of the Ring, it's a tournament. Not every match is going to be a winner.
I mean, it could have been so much worse, but I mean, it literally could have been, IRS versus Mabel. So,
Mr. Hughes versus Mabel.
Ugh.
Oh, dude, you suck. So what
An
Meltzer
Iron
have for this
Man
one?
match.
I think this is another one where we were actually lower than Meltzer. I think he was a little higher on this one.
Yep. For the Meltzer rating, this is 2.25.
2.25. Yeah.
But now we have the longest match of the pay-per-view, and boy, did it feel like the longest.
It's not even like a little bit longer. This is grossly overdone.
10 minutes longer than the next closest match, which is the main event match. Is 10 minutes shorter than this.
Oh, we'll get to that match.
Yeah. So okay, so who else didn't see this coming? You are 1, 2, 3, 4 matches into the tournament, and then you have the championship match.
That doesn't make sense.
Diesel and Brett. It's 22 minutes and 51 seconds, and it's a WWF Championship versus Intercontinental Championship match. Which, let's face it, as soon as I saw that's what the stipulation was, I'm like, this is ended in a no contest.
Yeah.
And I mean, I not gonna lie, I fast forwarded through some of it because it was so slow at points. I mean, it was a Brett match. It was a Brett match, so I mean, it was a good match overall, thanks to Brett being part of it. But like, just like the last King of the Ring, the best part of this pay-per-view is always going to be Brett wrestling, and then probably Owen.
I'm not gonna lie. During the match, I looked up on Amazon to see if I could find Bret Hart's glasses because they were probably the coolest thing about Bret Hart in the early '90s. Outside the fact that he did a horrible promo, I want to say it was almost like, Bret, I kicked your leg out of your leg. That bad.
Yeah. I mean, so Anvil went out there with Brett, and the crowd actually gave a good pop for Anvil, which is weird because he always felt like a minor character to me. But, when you're that young watching wrestling, you're looking at Brett, you're not looking at the idiots working with him. And then Shawn came out with Diesel. Some good back and forth to start. And then, of course, Shawn had to get involved. There was an awful top rope botched bear hug that just looked atrocious.
That's on Brett, though, and I think...
Yeah, he missed that one pretty bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. There were good bursts of action, but there were a lot of points of, I don't want to say rest holds, but slowness. I mean, they exposed the turnbuckle, and then I at the end, you had the DQ caused by Anvil for hitting Diesel, which, who cares? No titles are changing hands anyway. We all knew that as soon as we saw what the stipulations were.
Let's add another controversy.
And then we beat down Brett afterwards because Anvil ran away.
Okay.
That was a match in a nutshell. 22 minutes of that, basically.
Well, it was just a prelude to what was coming. That's all it was. It was, and I guess you could appreciate the storytelling from that aspect. At least at the minimum, what they tried to do was last King of the Ring in '94. The story was Bret Hart, winning these matches, whether it be conventionally or unconventionally. Well, now it's not Bret. It's another contender, but for some reason, it still has to be a Hart. And it seems like there's turmoil in the Hart family is what they were going for.
Yeah, it made sense by the end of it.
But it wasn't like that strong of a story. It just it was a thin.
It felt like a Raw storyline more than anything.
It really was, yeah.
Or Superstars or something like that.
And I would say this matchup was completely agree that it was not the best. It was a Kevin Nash match wholeheartedly. It was slow. It was not good. But the thing is you add a Kevin Nash, 5 moves with a guy who's a technical wrestler.
Hey, come on, it's 6.
And it just is 22 minutes if you can get through without fast forwarding. And the reason why I'm not sure. So Vince, 22 minutes. This is for you.
That a kid.
I was generous. I mean, go ahead, Captain.
I was going to say, I couldn't do it. I gave it a star.
Wow.
Okay.
I wasn't as mean. I gave it 2.5.
I couldn't. I couldn't do it because there was no payoff. There was no point to the match. It wasn't even a good wrestling match at that. It was boring.
And
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about Spot Fest. I'm just talking about. I would rather watch an NJPW match with two guys I've never heard of and watch it for half an hour than these guys because this was boring.
Interesting take, Stowaway.
So I have actually quite a bit of notes on this match. So a couple Art Donovan things here.
Please.
So hold on. The first one like was an actual genuine thing, like a genuine back and forth with Macho and Art Donovan because Jim Neidhart played for the Raiders at one point.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Do go on. What position did he play? What did he weigh?
He played a couple preseason games.
Counts?
I'd say it counts. But anyways, so IC versus World Championship match. This is the 5th match on the card. And did we really need to make this much room for Jerry Lawler versus Roddy Piper? That we had to put this on the 5th match on the card?
This match should have been 14 minutes long and at the end, and it probably would have been a 3 or 4 star match.
Yep. Next, do you guys notice Brett's outfit?
Yeah, it had the paint splatter and stuff.
Oh, I put Brett's sperm outfit, but okay.
Yeah.
So, yep, diving botch, outside interference. Art Donovan just starts making noises at one point into the microphone. He's not even saying words. He's just making noises at one point. Sean hits Brett with the belt. Jackknife. Anvil interferes. DQ finish. Who cares? We got the next match of the tournament.
What'd you give it?
I gave it 2 3/4 stars, mostly because I did enjoy the fact that Brett was working on the leg to get the figure 4 on to chop down. He's trying to chop the beast down. Diesel's like what, 6'10".
Yeah, something like that.
So I did enjoy that aspect. It's something that Bret Hart did a lot, where it's David versus Goliath. You gotta chop down the big guy, so he's gonna go for the legs, he's gonna work the legs, put the figure 4 on. So I did enjoy that aspect of it, but other than that, there's really not a lot to this match, and the ending I saw coming, so didn't really hurt it that much. So I did 2 3/4. Are we ready to Meltzer this bad boy?
Oh yeah, we definitely undercut him a lot.
So Meltzer was 3 3/4.
I don't know what match he was watching, because I gave it 2.5, and that's only because there were good parts in it. But if it wasn't for the fact that I fast forward through it, I would have given it a much lower rating.
I was the nicest to it. He went a full star above me.
Yeah.
Captain, thoughts?
This is all I'm going to say is Neidhart played for the Raiders and Cowboys. He never recorded any actual playing time in a regular NFL season game, and actually spent some time in jail with Charles Manson. That's all I'm saying.
That's pretty cool.
So what you're saying is we're going on to Razor versus IRS?
Yes.
Oh, side note. Do you guys know how Jim Neidhart got his nickname?
The anvil toss, right? At the Calgary State Fair?
Yeah, not Calgary Stampede football game. Yeah, but yeah, he threw an anvil further than anyone else. Stu Hart had to give him $500 to enter, and then, bam, that was it.
Not too shabby, Jim.
All right,
Not too shabby.
The next match is a good one. It's 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Razor versus IRS.
Why didn't Razor Ramon ever break a sweat?
Oh, okay, that's not the real question. The real question is why was IRS drenched in sweat? He was drenched like 1 minute in.
Well,
if you looked at his shirt, it was just soaked within like 1 minute.
Let's see. I have notes. I'll make it very quick. IRS, for some reason, there was a spot where he was doing a rest hold on Razor, and he could barely put his feet on the bottom rope for a rest hold, and it looked like he was doing a cock push-up. That was weird. And then he almost killed Razor with a body slam near the ropes. And then IRS again botched the Razor's edge, but somehow it was a quick pin for a clean finish, which was strange for this. And I'm out of rum, so you guys can finish this one up while I go get another bottle.
So I mean, his notes and my notes, I mean, I pretty much covers it. I gave it a meh. But I actually gave it half a star for having a clean finish. So I gave it a 1.5, and I was being super generous. And I literally added plus 0.5 for clean finish. Otherwise, it was definitely a 1-star match. It was
1 star, 2 notes, IRS, botched promo, and whatever, Razor's Edge. I will be right back, gentlemen.
Look at this.
Just call us gentlemen.
I'm not sure why, but this is a gentleman's pour.
That's not a gentleman's pour. That's a We Stop More King of the Ring pour.
Yeah, I mean, so you're right. This is probably the cleanest finish. And what number are we? Number 5?
Number 6.
Number 6, and that's the cleanest finish. I would say Owen Hart did roll. Well, it was a roll up, so yeah, it is the cleanest finish so far.
So far, yeah.
I mean, we've got a DQ. We've got a DQ. It says pin 1, 2, 3 kid over Jeff Jarrett.
It was a pin. It was a roll up.
Right, but still, And then we've got the Tatanka match, which was trash. The Mabel match, which was trash. The Razor match, which was trash. So we really didn't get into a good, clean finish until match number 6.
And it was a trash match, which would actually had a clean finish. So that's why I gave it 1.5. I mean, it wasn't a 1.5 quality match, but
it wasn't. And the sad part was for 5 minutes and 13 seconds, Scott Hall was out there working, and he never broke a sweat. And the reason why that's important is because I think IRS wasted all his energy yapping on the mic on his way down and worked up a sweat himself. And the match, watching it was just so. It's almost like these guys were trying to dance with each other with 2 left feet. It's just very choppy, very uncoordinated. It's like it should have been, what is it, a Saturday Night Shotgun show match.
Yeah. Shotgun Saturday night. Only on your local cable operator. Blah, blah, blah.
And it was almost like IRS just went, what they call it, he just went like sack of potatoes on Razor for the Razor's Edge. Like he just dead weight. And it was almost like at the end of it, you could look at Scott Hall's face like he was almost dejected by how much big old pile of crap the match ended up being.
So, all right, now that the Stowaway is back, he can give us some Meltzer on this hot garbage.
So this was a 3/4 of a star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No complaints here.
Nope.
Works for me.
Well, good. Yeah. So let's just
Next
go
up.
skip. Yeah, Owen Hart versus 1, 2, 3 Kid, and I'm almost sure Owen Hart almost killed Sean Waltman with the missile drop kick in the beginning of this match.
That was amazing.
That was great.
That was amazing.
Okay. So this match was only 3 minutes and 37 seconds, and it was the best 3 minutes and 37 seconds of the card because it was done.
This was my top-rated match of the card.
I mean, that drop kick was freaking amazing at the beginning.
It was a very fast match. It was brutal, but it got to the point quick. But Owen definitely showed off. Owen was last year's Brett.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he won that match was amazing. He just reversed that Hurricanrana to just one of the stiffest looking power bombs right into the freaking sharpshooter, and that was it.
And I want to note here, in that sharpshooter, I just want to know, do you tuck your arm for a sharpshooter like Owen did? If you look back at the footage, there's a clear shot of him. He's got the arm wrapped around, then he tucks it underneath both legs. Now, I don't know if it's the Sting version of the sharpshooter or Brett, but I don't know if either one of those guys ever hooked both feet.
I think that was an Owen twist on it. I think that was just Owen's twist on it.
Could have been. I mean, it looked great. I have on here how much this guy weigh. Cricket.
That was my first note.
And then I have his Kid with some stiff kicks. Ooh. And then the Northern Light suplex from Kid was great. Owen showing off his technical wrestling ability, and then the sharpshooter out of nowhere. It really was.
Are we ready for?
I gave it a 3.
What was that?
I gave it a 3, Captain.
I'll give it a 3, a light 3, just because I still think Owen and Tatanka worked better because it was almost twice as long, a little bit over twice as long as this match.
Yeah.
3 1/4. I enjoyed this entire thing.
Yeah.
So,
but was it long enough though? I feel like they could have went off of it a little bit better from the beatdown from Jarrett. I feel like Kid came out like he was full energy.
yeah, they could have done a better job with that. I will concede that. But at the end of the day, like, I think they just did a really good job together. Like, if you were to just see this match and not know that happened beforehand, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So it didn't really bother me that much. So we Meltzer time on this one.
Yeah.
So Meltzer 3 1/4, right in line with mine.
It's close.
Closest one so far.
We have a really weird match next.
Yeah.
So we got the Head Shrinkers, Fatu and Samu, against Crush and Yokozuna. 9 minutes and 16 seconds, which was at least 3 minutes too long. It was just, for me, it was just kind of there. It wasn't awful, but it had some decent bits to it.
It was awful. Don't kid yourself.
Okay, was it awful for being awful, or was it... I say it's not awful for being on this pay-per-view.
Okay, so it started off terrible.
The curve.
It had the scurvy. So it started off just awful. Like they set sail and forgot their first mate. It wasn't good because Yoke came out and then Crush. It's like they forgot to tell him he was up. You're live, pal.
Can I just say, I love how you call him Yoke.
He came running out. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, what you want me to call him? Yokozuna? Because that's not the right term. Because he was a Samoan. He was more of a head shrinker than the head shrinkers. Okay.
Okay.
But so my notes say Crush. He got off at the entrance somewhere, like someone he didn't know where he was going, and he was late. Then Yoko, just again, side note, sumo wrestler. He's supposed to throw the powder, like to imitate he's a sumo wrestler, but he throws it in the crowd and not in the ring. You're supposed to throw it in the ring. It was strange. It was a weird match that had Lex Luger just take off his shirt for some reason. And
first of all,
why.
Have you seen Lex's physique in '94? That's why he took off his shirt.
Hashtag steroids. Okay. It's
wrestling. Who cares?
It's Lex Luger. Who cares?
Yeah. Wow.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked he didn't try and sell his shirt. Wow. Wow.
His shirt gets stuck on his arm. Wow.
The turnbuckle.
God. Yeah, Lex distracted Crush the near roll up.
So why was the finish of this match a heel move by the faces? I didn't understand that they did the illegal switch. Fatu or Rikishi with the standing, what do they call it? Heel kick, because they didn't.
It was a super kick.
Right, but they didn't call it that. I mean, it was legit. He's did that move his whole career, but they did a heel move for the face for the finish. It was kind of strange. The whole ending.
Yeah.
It
ended with Crush getting a beat down from everybody, so it left the crowd happy. I guess I don't know if you want to call this leaving the crowd happy.
Was it a let me down?
It was definitely a let me down. But I mean, I watched most of this match without fast forwarding. It wasn't the worst thing on the card, which is not really saying much, but I gave it a 2, and that was just because there was some decent stuff in there. I mean, I was grading this on a curve. Honestly, this is probably a 1.75, 1.5. Now that I've had time to really look at it and think about it, I'm like, man, I was being way too generous.
So, yeah, I gave this a 1.5. I do have a couple notes here. Fatu does a really nice flipping clothesline sell, and I think he did this when he was Rikishi too.
Yeah, he did. It always looked good.
So, do you guys want to take a guess what my first note of this match is?
How much do these guys weigh?
You guys are getting good at this.
Yeah. The correct answer is between the three of them, 1,200 pounds.
So I have Head Shrinkers versus Yoko and Crush with a bunch of question marks. And then Lex comes out, bunch of question marks, confronts Crush, bunch of question marks.
It's like Vince Russo booked this.
Listen, we all know Crush got booked because he's Macho's friend. So
also Yoko, I think he came in too early to try to break up the pin. And I have it right here. Yoko moves as slow as tectonic plates to break up the pin.
Oh.
And my final note is just what is Lex wearing? He looks like a carnival tent.
He was wearing an awful singlet of some kind. I don't know. It was awful looking.
I don't know, man. A star and a half. This was weird. Whatever.
Was this? This is kind of off kilter question. This was after Yokozuna's push, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because I say that because he's very large in this match, and it's almost like he can barely work.
And he's not even to that point in his career yet. He just ballooned up there before this match. That's why they stuck him with Crush. I think this was before he took a sabbatical to lose weight, I think.
And didn't he take a sabbatical to lose weight so he could just gain weight?
Basically, yeah.
I'm gonna go on Weight Watchers and watch it go up. He was sneaking out of the facility just to go eat like 3 full chickens.
Are we ready to Meltzer this?
In butter. Yeah,
we're ready to Meltzer this trash.
Let's put this thing out of its own misery.
We spent way too much time on this. Meltzer gave it a star and a half. Like, yeah.
Pretty accurate. That's the most accurate thing he's had all show.
The beatdowns were it was weird.
They just had too many of them in this pay-per-view. There's 3. No, there's 4. No. Yeah, I think there's 4 beatdowns in this thing. Okay, so now we're going to the finish of the tournament.
You know what you know what we can't beat down enough? The guy in the Fred Flintstone shirt that they keep showing over and over again. He has a fantastic mustache, and he has the flow going down. Pretty good. There was no one dressed like Hulk, so Fred Flintstone guy.
Probably why I didn't notice him.
3 stars for Fred Flintstone guy. Okay.
Owen versus Razor.
You know what? If we're giving out stars for a reason, I'm giving Gorilla Monsoon 5 stars for not murdering Art Donovan.
Man, by this point in time, it was obvious that Gorilla had no part of Art Donovan whatsoever. Like I think the awkwardness made Macho feel bad to where he felt like he had to respond.
Yeah, that's for sure. If it wasn't for Macho trying to carry Art Donovan, this would have fell apart real quick. I mean, it did fall apart, but at least Macho tried to drag Art Donovan through it, whereas Monsoon's like, nope.
Yeah.
Screw this shit. I'm out. Okay, so now we're going to our King of the Ring championship match of Owen versus Razor, clocking in at 6 minutes, 35 seconds. You could tell both of these guys have wrestled a lot. They're kind of winded throughout the match. I mean, it was only 6 minutes, too. Solid. I mean, obviously that Brett Diesel, Anvil thing comes to the payoff here. So, yay. Somebody else take this before I just take a big old dumpster fire all over it.
Captain?
It could have been worse, is what I keep thinking. Is it could have been worse. It could have been. It was not the payoff we wanted. It wasn't the payoff we needed. It wasn't even the payoff we asked for. It was the payoff that found that gave us a ton of miscues, and it felt like someone right beforehand in gorilla position told them, "All right, guys, you got 5. Hurry." That's all it felt like the entire time. It never felt like it was the finals match. It never felt like these guys were going to have a match of their careers. It felt like a rushed crap ending. Like this was not going to be clean to finish. It was almost to the point to where like the producers who booked this match were more concerned with the after match events than they were the actual match itself. Because like there was a terrible heel kick or spinning heel kick by Owen that barely got Razor in the gut. Like there was just so many spots that were just pushed too far. And if it was a Monday Night Raw matchup, it would be in the beginning. It was not very good.
I would agree with that. I mean, if you look at the previous year's match, the King of the Ring match, what was it, like 12, 13 minutes? And it was on the last. Now, you've still got one match after this. And honestly, Brett versus Diesel, you could have shaved 6 minutes off of this and added it to Owen versus Razor. This could have been so much better.
Yeah.
Or it could have been that much worse. Who knows at this point? It's 94.
So,
go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So,
I'm just sad.
Art Donovan doesn't know who Razor is, which is weird because he's already seen him wrestle in this pay-per-view.
Twice.
Does he just not pay
that guy away?
Yeah.
Yeah, decent chain wrestling, followed by big moves. Anvil comes out. Owen wins with a decent elbow drop. And my final note here is Owen is like the master of playing a bratty little brother. Does anybody else get that vibe from him?
Nugget.
Failed harness.
Okay, come on.
Boo. Listen, this match with Razor, the only thing that was even comparable with Owen Hart's career was that elbow drop was just like his crescendo. They were both stiff and ended very quickly.
Meltzer? I don't really know what to add there.
I mean, so you're correct. The elbow drop.
2. I gave it a 2.
If you watch the finish for that, when he lands, there's no reverb. That was a dead elbow drop. Razor took 100% of that elbow drop, just like Owen's face took 100% of the turnbuckle. Like, there was no way around it, okay? Like, cue up Chris Benoit's theme music. Too soon?
Jesus, dude, you're just playing all the hits right now.
Oh,
like,
good you did there.
Okay. Meltzer, what Meltzer give this dog pile?
He gave it 2 stars.
The captain gave it a broken harness.
The captain's had way too much to drink.
I still have a bottle of rum to finish.
Oh, God help us all.
Well, don't worry, you got one more match to go, so you got time.
This is the one that I'm gonna get the most mad at. So, yeah.
So 2. I'm giving it 2. What do you guys? 2. Meltzer gave it a 2. What are you giving it?
I give it a 15-foot fall from the Raptor.
Jesus Christ.
Just so you know, when everyone's watching this, that is going to be what you give it. You're not giving it a star rating. The text is going to 15-foot fall from the
Oh, because it was okay.
Okay.
It was okay. I mean, black God, he's got a family. Like, it was okay.
Okay, we're moving on. Okay, now we're going to the match of the I guess I would call you this the pre-geriatric match because they were both in their 40s and they both looked like they were in their 40s and not like the guys in their 40s like Randy Orton now looks. They look like guys in their 40s like in the 90s. So they looked like they were in their 40s.
This was a retirement
Piper wasn't in awful shape, but 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Who gave this 12 minutes and 30 seconds? That was at least 8 minutes too long. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. Let me get my notes in real quick before the Stowaway just throws up on himself. I wrote way too long. The ref bump was just awful. The beginning was pretty much all Piper with like it was a decent beginning brawl, and it was all downhill after that. And then like the whole thing with the kid and Piper trying to protect him was the worst. It was so bad. My only note on this part of the match was a very shit. I was looking for an excuse to like go crawl in a bailing machine at that point. Like I'm not even gonna give you the rest of my notes because it's not worth it. I gave it 0.75, and that was out of respect for the fact that Piper was in it and he passed away. Otherwise, I would have given this negative stars, and I've never given anything negative stars, and I would have given this negative stars.
Piper's promos were better than this match.
Yeah. Well, and his promos were only good because they cut the crap out of him on the cutting room floor. Because I remember listening to Bruce Pritchard on time on this particular event. They were shaving down Piper's promos by like 80% to make them usable on TV.
That's right.
Because he was just sending in VHS tapes, and they were so long they had to cut the crap out of them in the studio to make them fit.
Is it time for me to discuss this?
It's time.
Okay.
Not what that Captain. Come on, Captain. You got to give something on it, or are you just gonna drink?
Here's my answer.
All right, Stowaway, you're good. He's chugging.
We're fighting over these two elderly men are fighting over sick kids. What does that even mean? What is the point of this?
John Cena would be so mad.
Okay, and here's the thing. Like you said earlier, like they're in their early 40s. They look so much older than that. Piper, admittedly, like he did look jacked from his last movie, but like, goodness, like these guys were younger than AJ Styles.
AJ looks good.
Oh my God!
I mean, Tammy Sitch looked better in Sunny Side Up than Piper did.
We're okay.
Come on, that was pretty good.
Okay, so
I've just scratched the surface. We're fighting over sick kids. We fighting over them chillins. Second, who is this dude coming to the ring with Piper? Who is this non-lifting man coming to the ring with Roddy Piper? Who is he? But what is this?
He makes me look like I work out routinely.
Well, wasn't this the kid that Jerry Lawler got to play Piper on the Raws and that beforehand?
Did he pile drive and whatnot or something?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I know there was the pre-match video package on this, and I was so done with this pay-per-view, I just fast-forwarded through it, because I'm like, I'm not watching this crap, let's just get this over with. And that's where all the backstory was at. I I wish I could tell you I watched that package, but I didn't because it was bad.
We're about halfway through the Stowaways complaining here. We stalled for minutes. Minutes! This is your main event! This is not the second match on a house show. They stalled for minutes!
Isn't it though?
Then an awful ref bump. Jerry Lawler gets the brass knucks. Skinny dude breaks up the pin because he's really gonna do something here. That guy's really gonna break up a pin. Like, look at him. Back suplex. Piper won on a back suplex. We've got. This is the era that has Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, the 1, 2, 3 kid. We've got some good workers in here, and we ended on a Roddy Piper back suplex for them kids. And then
what would
Piper
Brock
wins,
Lesnar
celebrates
say about them kids?
for the kids.
What would Brock say about them kids?
You know what? Brock Lesnar should have gone back in time and main evented this pay-per-view. Just comes out and just
German
destroys both these guys.
So let me get this straight. We've got two guys, Piper and Lawler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both are from the territory days, correct?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Correct.
So Lawler was a Memphis guy. Where was Piper from? UK?
WWE.
Did he wrestle in like AWA?
AWA. He was an old WWF guy. He's before Hogan.
So
I'm not mistaken.
We've got a career heel versus a career face.
No, we have a career heel versus a career heel.
So, and I think that's why this is so jumbled up. Is it's not a natural match. It's almost like Randy Orton forced to be a face. When you see Piper, it just doesn't feel right. Lawler, natural heel. You can hate him. Going through the match, the pin was the most half-assed pin in this pay-per-view. Like, what was so strange is the kid after the match, Piper hoisted him up on his shoulders like the kid was supposed to mean something.
I was hoping he would back body drop him, but it didn't happen.
You gotta do it for them kids. It's all about the kids. Roddy Piper, champion of children. But I was so done with this. This was stupid.
Okay, so I just want to go ahead and have you Meltzer it for a second, and then I have something to say. So give us the Meltzer for it.
Meltzer gave it 1. I give it a half.
I want to know how Meltzer could give Diesel versus Brett a 3 3/4 and then give this a 1. How is this not like a dud or a negative star? If you're giving out 3 3/4 to Brett versus Diesel, which was slow, methodical, and painful to watch, especially if you're watching it live and not fast forwarding.
Maybe Meltzer gave that rating for the kids. Gotta do it for them children.
The chillin'. Do it for them kids.
Overall, this is definitely worse than 93, which was definitely not great, but it was carried by Brett. If I was going to give this one, I think Captain's got it right. He's got 3 bottles, not 3 shots, 3 bottles of rum to go through this. And we're not even talking watching it. We're just talking about it, and it took him 3 bottles.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
So, or 2.5 bottles. 2.5 bottles. He's not quite through the third one yet.
Not yet.
But, so, for me, watching this pay-per-view, when I saw, I'm like, oh, this is 2 hours and 45 minutes. this isn't going to be that bad. And then I watched it, and I started cursing for agreeing to do this show with you two by the time I was done.
It was that bad.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I just based on recent events and our current content slate, we need some positive stuff, guys, because this crap ain't helping our viewership.
Well, the next one's not going to help either.
You know what? Art Donovan will definitely.
Oh.
Art Donovan.
Thanks, Art.
Is amazing on this show. He gives us so much to talk about.
I ended up muting this show half of the time when he started speaking.
Oh, buddy, I had it turned. I made sure I heard every word that dude said.
I'm not surprised. You just wanted to torture us with, hey, how much I weigh? What position do you think he play?
Hold on, no. Art Donovan was so bad, it was funny. The matches were so bad that it was bad.
Art Donovan was the best and worst part of the show.
He was. He really was.
So, would you say...
I'm going to give Art Donovan 3.5 stars for providing entertainment in the wrong way. And I'm going to take away 3.5 stars for him being incompetent at best.
Hey, he's better than Mark Madden.
That is true.
Oh, that's true.
That guy's an idiot.
All right. So the captain 3 bottles to get through this show. First mate, how much was it?
Mind you,
on bottles.
We're supposed to go by shots, so bottles is another league. Okay.
So I mean, okay, so we're going on a shot count. The captain had the rough equivalent of 14 shots to get through this show. So that should tell you something.
It was WCW 2000.
I mean, I only had. I would say the only reason it wasn't quite as bad is there were more finishes, at least were pinfalls, and they weren't all run-in, distraction, DQ finishes, or just non-finishes whatsoever. So I wouldn't put it quite. It's more like 99, late 99 WCW for me. But like, I would, if I'm gonna give this a shot count, if it wasn't for the fact that I have to work tomorrow, I probably could have drank at least a full bottle of rum for this one. So I would have said at least 7. And I don't drink that much, so I could have get a shot after almost every one of these. And there were 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches. So
yeah,
we'll call it a 7 shot.
You have to count the promos too. Those are shots as well.
Oh. So okay. We'll just round up and call it 10. 10 shots to get through this garbage.
6 shots and crying in the corner.
I think the crying in the corner is the equivalent of at least 6 shots. So I think that's pretty accurate. I mean,
Art Donovan's why it's not more. It could easily be more.
I mean, you got more entertainment value out of it than we did. I ended up muting the commentary half of the time. So, I mean, like, if I was going to give this a star rating on top of the shot rating, this is a 1-star pay-per-view for me. Just because there are some 2-star matches on it, but this is a 1-star pay-per-view because, like, there's the payoff for the night is bad. The payoff for the King of the Ring is bad. Yeah. You had a few decent matches in there. One star and or 10 shots. Or in the captain's case, 3 bottles.
Yeah, none of it made sense. That's why. It just didn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would an Ewok and a Chewie be together? It doesn't make sense.
We're not on the defense here, Captain.
So, and a side note for this show, since we're at King of the Ring 94, the next obviously is King of the Ring 95. I know we're doing this in chronological order, but I kind of want to skip to 96 just so I don't have to do 95 after 94.
Oh, we're doing 95, I need something positive in my life. Fire me up.
You're. Oh my God! You're going in the poop deck. Poop deck.
I'm taking you two down with me.
That's like what you want to watch someone walk the plank into shark-infested waters. That's watching 95 King of the Ring. You want to watch the massacre happen and eat your popcorn too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So this is King of the Ring 94. This one's in the bag. The captain's gonna have to go and spend a small fortune to replace his rum stockpile because he used most of it for this one, and he's gonna need at least 3 or 4 bottles for the next one. So, this has been King of the Ring 94, and for those of you who actually watched this whole thing, I'm sorry. I mean, at least you watched us instead of watching the pay-per-view, so that's
It could
something.
be worse.
I mean,
Hey, add a star to it just for watching us.
yeah. It's a
Hey,
2-star
Captain.
review with a 1-star show.
Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
You see this first mate guy? How much does he weigh?
How much do you think he weighs? What position do you think he'll play in the
Hey, first mate.
Left bench. Left bench.
Hey, first mate.
Water boy?
You see the captain over there? How much does this guy weigh?
You do this for a living?
He's 275.
That guy
It's
looks
like
like
30 pounds too heavy.
the captain. That guy looks like an Amishman.
Not watch it, you. Okay. You look like one of them fellers that goes knocking door to door asking if you have time to talk about Jesus. Okay. Okay.
Well, dang. I guess I've lost this round.
First, he goes knocking on doors asking about that, and then after he leaves, he comes back and asks about your car's extended warranty.
Do you have a moment to talk about your car's extended warranty and Jesus? That's the worst.
Good you guys.
Oh my God.
The Stowaway's the
Okay,
kind of guy that
that's-
misdial calls you, and they're like, "Oh no, you must have the wrong number," and he calls you back, and you're like, "No, you must have the wrong number," and he's like, "No, I don't." Like he's that guy. Okay.
I think the captain has had too much to drink tonight.
Well, listen. 1994 King of the Ring was much like the Blue Blazers' demise. It
Stop
was
it. Oh
it
my
was
God.
deadly. It was deadly, okay? It did not end
Okay,
well.
so on that note, this is the end of King of the Ring 94. We're gonna end this one on that before the captain says some more inappropriate things. Until next time, arrgh.
I think.
If you look around where we're at, you're gonna see places and things to watch because I'm gonna edit them in, and then you can click on these things that I'm pointing at everywhere around us, and go and look at our website at RumNRasslin.com because, you know, little self-promotion. You can go to our Teespring store. Somebody please buy a shirt. Make it look like we're actually hawking stuff instead of us buying our own stuff because, you know, that's how cool we are. And have yourself a great whatever whenever you watch this because screw it, we're making the Stowaway walk the plank.
Oh, jeez.